Hello and welcome back to the Fruit Facts podcast. I'm your usual host Wave, and I'm here to bring you Fruit Facts. Just kidding, we haven't been hacked by a Twitch link.
Fruit Ninja.
Oh, Tony, to give a teaser for the Steam demo. This is a really fucking slow news week, but what I've been doing the entire week, apart from going to stag do's and weddings and stuff, is the Steam Demo Festival. I have played loads. I've played like 30 demos. I've played a bunch of VR demos. I think actually the best, most well-made VR demo I played was Fruit Ninja 2. I just have to come. I think I just have to come out and stay it, and I'll tell you in the video if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because it could be either. So. But speaking of VR, let's just jump straight into it because I went to the Tokyo Game Show. I said last week, hey, the Tokyo Game Show is going to be on in VR. I think that'd be really cool to check out. I'm a big fan of virtual experiences because I think the idea of the Fortnite concerts. I went to the Ariana Grande Fortnite concert. I thought that was pretty cool. That Fortnite does these music concerts. I think having games conventions with COVID and stuff inside virtual reality is a really fucking cool idea.
Yeah, it's really cool. What you can do with it is really cool.
That being said, the Tokyo Game Show has a long way to go, I feel like.
I think it's just because you don't speak Japanese.
Okay, so yeah, that's one thing. I went to the Tokyo Game Show. All of the games trailers were in Japanese. There was no option on that. I had to download this weird app. I got to see Sonic the Hedgehog though.
Yeah, that's true.
Someone pointed this out. This is the first time Sonic the Hedgehog has ever appeared in a VR experience. So
really, okay.
Yeah, I believe so. So guys, the world's first ever Sonic VR game. Here we go. I immediately saw Capcom and I was like, that's a company I understand. The thing is, I'm not interested in 90% of Japanese video games. I like Sega and I like Capcom, and that's about it.
And even then, you don't like all of their stuff they release.
Yeah, so
but what about you? You love Konami though.
Oh, surely. Love Konami, big time. Yeah, I love pachinko machines.
Was there a massive fuck Konami news last week?
Was it did they do Pro Evolution Soccer?
Yeah.
It was being renamed E Football, and then nobody was playing it, and it wasn't doing very well.
Well, yeah, I heard it's free to play. It was very, very broken, and you could pre-order loot boxes.
So I think there was basically there was big booths for stuff with these cool animations. I thought this was really cool. I think the Attack on Titan one was actually really cool. The actual being in VR and having the 3D animations. There was this weird game where you could go and explore the convention and find items to dress your avatar. I think I put on a Sonic t-shirt, but other than that, I'm I don't fucking care about this game. As soon as I finish at this convention, I'm just uninstalling this app. I don't care about any of this fragment stuff. But
I was gonna see you though.
But if you did this in a game like Fortnite and you're hey, you can get a Fortnite skin or something, people might be interested in that sort of stuff. If you put it into a game that sticks. That being said, it wasn't. I was hoping that. I think the idea of an Attack on Titan VR game would be pretty cool. I mean, pretty motion sick. If you were jumping around on those they shoot grapple hooks out of their belt or something, and then something like that. Anyway, I was seeing if I could fall off the edge. I was playing on smooth locomotion. The slide move. I was seeing if I could teleport off the edge. I thought smooth locomotion would be better for the footage for the podcast, and as well as I was fine with it. I didn't feel motion sick, and
I always want to ask about that to see how it feels.
It really depends because I did play one demo. Yeah. I played one demo in the Steam Demo Festival that had no options whatsoever and just had locomotion. And it didn't have any snap turning or anything, and it made me feel really sick.
But this is kind of I always want to ask because it seems to be very dependent on the game.
I wanted to
experience.
This is when you go to a wax museum and you want to shove your you want to stand next to Samuel Jackson and stuff like that. I want to shove my head in the Monster Hunter mouth and do dumb shit like that.
Oh, okay, right. I understand the shove reference now. Okay, right.
Yeah. I watched a trailer for Monster Hunter. I was like, I don't really care about Monster Hunter, but I'm here at the booth. Another big problem I think with this show is that there was like no new releases. It was all just stuff we already knew about like months ago, just shown again.
Yeah, I guess. I guess the stuff was like, did they know that the Tokyo Game Show was going to be virtual at that point?
I don't know. I don't know if it was always going to be.
How long did we know that it was going to be virtual? I guess. Like, how long did we know?
I knew like a day before, but I have no idea how.
Right.
I that's just when the news got to me, so I genuinely have no idea.
I'm just wondering. Maybe it's like a similar but less extreme reason, like for like the devs that like they like release the trailers not at the Tokyo Game Show. They just release it independently. That's my guess anyway.
Well, they around the conventions they had like all the years the Tokyo Game Show was on, and then they had like they showed off like magazines and stuff from previous years and stuff like that, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Again, get to see my boy Sonic. I saw a trailer for Super Monkey Ball, which I think is out now, and it was in Japanese, and I can only assume what they were saying because.
Will we be super racist?
Super Monkey Ball!
Yeah.
There was a Japanese woman talking about something. I don't know what she was saying, but it looked fun. And there was a bunch of modes I didn't even know existed that were apparently being added to this one. There was like a football mode or something. So.
I think the more you can do with that concept, the more interesting you'd make the game, right? Like I feel like just like some like creative thinking there.
I feel like this is like interesting if you're a big like Japanese game fan, but I feel like for me, I feel like it was maybe not worth it. Yeah, or weeb as you say.
Yeah.
Otaku is what weebs call themselves.
No, some call themselves weebs. Like some of them are like, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, I was like, you can be. I was like getting reminded of like Wii fucking sports with all like the bowling and the football, and I was like, what the hell? Was this in the original Monkey Ball? Like, I had no idea what was going on.
When was the original Monkey Ball?
Years ago, I think.
I feel like it was a long time ago.
I was putting on my Sonic t-shirt. Oh, I think here I'm like walking past and then I accidentally click on something and it flies into my face. Some like idle thing. I thought the floating Pac-Man was cool. I was like, oh, this looks cool. Can I click on this?
Oh, I guess as well. Like, yeah, I didn't really think about this.
Where was it?
So I guess it wasn't a very impressive. Like, how impressive was it? I guess the majority of it, like just walking around, which was. I was just looking at it as in terms of like just like a normal video game on a screen, but
yeah, they didn't. Other than like the Attack on Titan, like models and stuff, which I think were really cool in VR. I think everything else was kind of whatever. Like I think Attack on Titan did the coolest thing, and then but their VR experience was like kind of not great. I was like. Idolmaster Starlit Season, and I was like, I'm getting the hell out of there for that. Because they did have special content stuff, because I think later I go into the Attack on Titan special content area, and I was like, okay, they're making a VR game, that sounds like it would be cool. And then I go into it, and it's just a 3D video in VR of their new... They're making like a roller coaster ride, where you go on a roller coaster and you wear a VR headset, and I assume it's going to be a Japan exclusive, so there's that.
I don't get that one, but okay. It's very weird.
It was weird, like, walking around in VR, and then I saw another person, and I interacted with them. I watched a Pokemon thing.
Person?
Yeah, I saw one person at the Konami booth, and I waved to them. No, there was other people.
Okay. Wait, the Konami booth. Oh my god.
As I was trying to get through the Konami booth, I managed to walk, and it's weird. I think you can like talk to people in VR, but I think like it reminded me of playing Journey when you get like, I don't know if you know about Journey, but one of the things about Journey is you get a random co-op partner, but you have no way to like voice communicate or type to each other. Yeah. It reminded me of that, where I was like waving at this person and we were trying to communicate, even though like. If this is the Tokyo Game Show, this person could have been like Japanese. Like they may have not even spoke English. So it's like interesting that we were like talking to each other almost.
Did you even speak English?
No, I had my mic turned off because I was like, I'm not gonna try and interact, because you could put, like RuneScape, you could put like words above your head and be like selling GP, looking for GF or whatever.
Right.
You could do shit like that. I have no fucking idea what this was. It looked like Scuff Roblox. No fucking clue what this was.
Scuff Roblox confirmed.
It was near the Konami. I thought this was cool, walking around this jungle top area, but I felt like it had absolutely nothing to do with the only legit VR company. I was like, oh, Survivos is here. They do like lots of cool games. Like they do like Electronauts, Creed, like Survivos, Walking Dead. Like the Survivors do a lot of really cool VR games. I was like, maybe they've got something cool to announce, and they were like, no, it's the Bubble puzzle game, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, like they don't have anything either. So, yeah. If they do, the real question is, if they do it again, would I go there?
It depends if. Okay. But do you think they'll do it again if there's going to be a live show next time?
I would go again if they were like, we have new releases that we're going to announce in VR. That would be cool. But other than that, like releasing, announcing stuff that we already know about, and stuff that we've already seen before, and not adding like too much other than some 3D models in VR. Didn't really add that much, so I would think about going. Like I think it's like VR's story, right? It always seems like it's the early adopters are the ones who are getting the worst experience, sort of thing. Where if they improve on this later, it would be really cool. I think so. I don't actually know. You might be able to not play this in VR. I'm not sure.
I'm just wondering, like.
But I'm like watching this, and I'm like, there's VR chat rooms that are more impressive than this game show right now.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's a cool idea, but it's like it feels like a bit of wasted potential of what it could have been. But the thing is, they've got to coordinate this with like 50 different companies, some of which aren't even in the VR space, I guess. So
they should have done what Devolver Digital did.
Their game, what was it called? Devolver Land or something.
Yeah. Or Devolver Land Expo or something.
Because that's another great example of a game that we played and we're like, this is a cool way to interact with your fans and show off trailers and stuff.
Yeah.
Was creating these experiences for people.
And I presume as well that they like paid for like because they went to the people that made whatchamacallit, what's it called? Who made the game or who made the experience?
Flying Wild Hog, the guys who do Shadow Warrior.
Yeah, that's it. I assume they got paid for doing that, so like it's like extra work for them. That's kind of good.
It's good advertising.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is the. Hang on, just skip forward to the 3D. It's just a 3D video of Attack on Titan. I was like, okay, this is the experience that you're gonna sit in a roller coaster with a VR headset on. But yeah, I tried it. It was interesting, but wasn't ultimately very interesting. I don't think so. Potentially do it again, but. Hopefully, if they do one with new releases or maybe a non-Japanese one, because I don't play Japanese games really. So, Devolver Digital.
Sorry, I just remembering Devolver Digital Land, and it's like, isn't that like the first time we saw, or not the first one, but another
Fall Guys
before Fall Guys came out.
Yeah, I was there explaining Fall Guys to you, and you were like, what's this game? And I was like,
what is this?
And I was like, I think this Fall Guys game is going to be pretty interesting. And you're like, I've never heard of it. What is this?
I like the colours and the weird things, and that's all I knew at the time.
Anyway.
Well, what that was ages ago now.
What a day! Jesus right, let's go into trailers, and I think I have 2 trailers. So we have Minecraft Live. Oh. Are you stamping?
No. I just say. I was gonna say, hold on. Savor this moment. Like the need to.
Minecraft Live is going to be in a week or so, I think. And they're doing the mob votes. So the first mob vote we know. If you don't know Minecraft Live, every year they do a mob vote. We did the Glow Squid last year, right? Was the one that won the vote.
The year before was the Goat.
Yep. So the first one that's been announced.
Was the fucking I can't remember what it's called anymore. The thing that flies and like tries the Phantom.
Oh, the Phantom. That
got voted in.
If you don't sleep for
everyone.
3 days, it actually puts an insomnia mechanic in Minecraft.
It's fucking dumb.
I like mobs that add mechanics to the game. So.
Yes, but it now means there's even less incentive to be out at night. Just skip the night.
So this is the first choice to vote for a Minecraft Live, and what the glare does is it's a mob that is grumpy if light levels are low enough for mobs to spawn. So one of my favourite modded Minecraft features is you could turn on an ability to see where light levels were low enough that
it's
mobs
like an overlay
spawn.
on like puts on the ground.
And I was like, I love this feature, and every time I go back to vanilla Minecraft, I'm like, I really miss this feature. But now there's a vanilla way to do it if we vote in this mob.
Yeah, there's a really cool mod that does it in a way that doesn't just add an overlay. Like I think it's like a magical wand that like starts like showing, well, it starts highlighting it in like little orbs where it gets too dark, which is kind of cool.
Some people were saying it might be interesting to use this in conjunction, glares in conjunction with redstone, to turn things on and off based on whether mobs are spawning. Might be pretty interesting.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know how that would How would you like interact with like what it can see though?
I'm not sure if we're going to get redstone interaction with it, but we'll have to see. It's always an interesting idea. I love the idea of like this this theme right now we have of like the dark caves with like the shulkers and the mobs that can't see you but can hear you sort of thing. Those are really interesting.
The warden.
The stuff that the warden. I think it's making Minecraft a lot.
The skulkers and the skulk sensors, which is like Rhinoceros, and then the warden that's then very, very powerful, which we still haven't seen in the snapshot yet, by the way.
We're still waiting for I'm still waiting for the Caves and Cliff update, the full one. We've got the cosmetic stuff, right?
I guess I can talk about this a little bit. The snapshots of like they're continuing with the snapshots at this point. We've had like 3 proper snapshots after the not real Cave and Cliffs update.
The cosmetic update.
Yeah, I don't see a point in that update, I'm going to be honest. Like, it's okay. To me, 1.17 is the Moss update, and that's it. So, take that as you will.
Okay. What were you saying?
Moss.
Okay, right. Well, there's that. I think this is a cool mob. Immediately, I think it mechanically changes Minecraft a lot. So immediately I'm like, October 16th, guys. So it's the 11th today. So 5 days.
I feel like more interesting. I'm just always concerned with these sorts of mobs because like it's kind of a pet mob, and Minecraft doesn't really deal with pet mobs very well.
What about axolotls?
Yeah,
amazing new pet. What do you mean?
But the Minecraft doesn't deal with it very well. Like it's still very glitchy. Like they still kind of like teleport to you and very easy to just lose or they just die. I don't know. I thought it was the most interesting one because like you kind of I'm not expecting to keep them all alive.
When we've got Joe's Weird VR Games of the Week, that was the Tokyo Game Show. But then we've also got, I wouldn't say it's kind of a weird one, but it's like something really cool. We've got Half-Life Alyx Bioshock Mod Part 2 trailer, and it looks fucking cool. Like, it was one guy, his name's Wilhelm. I can't pronounce his name because it's terribly like hard to pronounce. But I don't need to anymore because he's teamed up into like a Patient 8, a new like studio sort of thing. Like there's a bunch of modders working together on Part 2 because Part 1 was fucking amazing, and it was like legit really good. But there's like there was some small polishing things I could see that needed doing. But now like it's massively looks like it's been improved, and it's continuing on from the story of Part 1, which was sort of using environments from the Bioshock games and then spinning an original story out of it. But now Part 2 looks really fucking cool.
Yeah, it's just like, I guess like, do you think they weren't expecting like it to be as popular as it was?
I don't know. Well, this guy's pretty much the Half-Life Alyx modder. Like he's.
Well, no, I'm just saying like normally what happens is like they obviously they're doing it for free, right? So it's just like if you you have a good reception, you get incentivized do it again but better. So I'm just wondering if that really helped.
I think it just loves the game. I would
loves
say.
doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing is, people have supported Half-Life and Half-Life 2 through mods just because people just genuinely love the game, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
this does look fantastic.
I was showing you some of the Return to Rapture, the new animations they have, where they've completely remade the Bioshock animations, but with Alex in them instead, which I think is really freaking cool. But yeah, but this guy is legit, really, really freaking cool. He did Return to Rapture, he did Resident Evil Alex, he did The Lost Cases, some of the best stuff on the Half-Life's Workshop. So excited to play.
Best source modder.
I feel like this pool area is from Bioshock 2. I've been playing the Bioshock games back recently, and I noticed after playing the Bioshock Alex mod, I remembered areas from playing the Bioshock Alex mod when I went back and played Bioshock, and then
right. I feel like it's maybe the other way around, but okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was. I was there in VR. I was so immersed.
Oh, that's true.
But from replaying them back, I feel like the Bioshock Alex mod mixes levels from 1 and 2 together. I could be wrong, so maybe this one's also going to do that, where it kind of mix matches different levels from 1 and 2 together.
You said it's its own story, right?
So it doesn't follow the Bioshock story. It has its own complete voice acted story, which is pretty interesting. The voice actor has an unconvincing accent, which I think is one of the big weaknesses of the story of Return to Rapture.
Right.
But other than that, I think it's a legit, really cool mod.
I mean, voice acting's hard.
So, this installment will feature over 3,000 assets from the original Bioshock and Verve. Also note the big daddies and other characters will now be full-on enemies. That was one of the big things was all of the enemies you were facing against were zombies, and they were Combine. So it was, you were in Bioshock, but you were fighting zombies and Combine. It seems like you're going to be facing splicers and big daddies in this part 2, which is going to be really fucking interesting.
I mean, that's kind of a weird match. It could have been actually this is not what it was going for, but it could be an interesting mashup of Combine in a Bioshock setting, but actual Combine.
After playing this is some of my favorite content in Half-Life Alyx. I cannot wait to play this. So, VR fans out there, really.
Well, I think there's going to be a tangerine on this.
Oh, almost certainly there's going to.
Because we haven't got a tangerine on the first, right?
I've talked about it in a tangerine, I think, multiple times.
We haven't shown it.
Yes, I have shown it in a tangerine.
Okay.
When I was talking about, I think I was supposed to be talking about something else, and I said I've been playing VR Bioshock, and it's really fucking good.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to do a tangerine follow up to this. Let's move on to quick news, because there's quite a lot of quick news this week, and then there's not a lot of main news, so it might be a short podcast this week if I haven't waffled on about Tokyo Game Show for too long.
We're already 24 minutes in, so...
Deep Rock Galactic, the board game. DRG is making a board game, which is pretty interesting. I like how they even go on to look at all of the different video games that have been turned into board games. So they look at The Darkest Dungeon.
My god, eventually.
We talk about the Slay the Spire ones being turned into a. We talked about the Binding of Isaac one that got turned into a board game on Kickstarter. There's tons of different ones, and they specifically say how much did these make, when did they release, were they any good, sort of thing. They seem to have put a lot of research into this. Yeah. And this genuinely looks like it'd be really fun. So I was a big fan of Deep Rock Galactic, I think this would be like a
I like the hexagons
idea.
and hexagons idea. That's good. That's very cool. Okay.
But yeah,
I'm kind of a sucker of like generating, I guess, like terrain or like a board like from like little tiles that then get modified. I don't know, just something interesting about that.
Yeah.
But I still want to see how it plays before I have my final opinion.
So this is the Kickstarter here. We dreamed of a board game adaptation right from the beginning. Back in November 2020, I received an email from our good friends at Mood Publishing about collaborating on a board game project, and I quickly replied yes.
That's right.
We convinced our friend and professional board game designer Ollie Steiners to join in. Ollie has several released board games under his belt. One of them, Champions of Midgard, even broke into the top 100 in Board Game Geek. Board Game Geek's like a super legit website if you want to look up like complexity ratings or like reviews for board games.
Yeah, I would say that a lot of
that's
very relevant information.
A very good tool if you're interested in board games.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah. I know we don't talk about board games that much since Daniel stopped being on the podcast a lot.
After he died, yeah.
And also since everyone in the world stopped playing board games because they couldn't. That's also correlating with it. So,
coincidence?
I think not. TLDR, Daniel's dead.
Yeah.
Exactly. Far Cry 2's creative director has confirmed the long-running theory that the Jackal was Jack Carver from Far Cry 1. So I think the Jackal is in Far Cry 2 is the guy who sells weapons during like a war sort of thing. He's sort of like the he's the gun smuggler, the enemy in Far Cry 2.
Right.
So like the protagonist from 1 went on to 2, and it was a long-running fan theory, and now it's been confirmed by the creative director. Although that being said, I feel like it's one of those things where people go, "Oh my god, you were telling us this whole time for 10 years or something that the game it was the protagonist from Far Cry 1," and then the game director just goes, "Yeah, sure, okay."
Yeah.
Like either it could like genuinely be unplanned the entire time, or it could have been like, "Yeah, okay, why not? Fuck it," sort of thing. So take that as you will. Big announcement actually. Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy. I feel like this is like a small announcement in the fact that it's been leaked and rumored so much that we pretty much have known this has been coming for a really long time because of all of the not only have they DMCA take down all the code for the reverse engineered original games.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what else they're doing to the GTA games? They've said to prepare for launch, we will begin removing existing versions of the classic titles from digital retailers next week. So they're completely removing all of the original versions of the games from all digital platforms.
Why?
I don't know.
It's so annoying.
So it seems like you buy the collection and then you get access to all three of them. As we talked about before, the rumored way they're doing it is they basically got them all running through Unreal Engine 4 is the rumored engine that this will be on. We haven't got much information. We don't even have a release date. I don't think. In addition, it's iOS and Android will be 2022 sometime. I like how they're announcing the GTA. I like how they're announcing the Grand Theft Auto the trilogy, and half of the fucking article they put out is about GTA Online. Like, it just goes to show you where their head is at.
Yeah.
I'll see if anyone knows the actual definitive release date yet, because I don't think there is one. I think it's coming sometime this year.
I guess soon, TM?
Soon, TM, I guess, because I can't find any information about it. But it seems like it's probably going to be sometime this year, maybe next month. You will not be able to buy the original versions of the games. I believe people have started, review bombing. They've done the opposite, and they've gone review encouragement, where they've gone to the Steam pages of GTA games that are being removed, and they've encouraged people to buy the original versions of them before they get removed from the digital platforms.
I was actually thinking, do I own the originals?
I do. I think I bought them the beginning of this year because...
Yeah, I think I might have done a similar...
Well, I think they're on a really good sale, and I was talking to my friend, and he was like playing through them again. I was like, oh, I really like the old GTA games, just going around and shooting people on them, because that's what you do in GTA. And I was like, I'll just pick them up while they're on sale, because I like playing them as little sandbox games. But yeah, sort of interesting to see.
Everything, it's fine.
Everyone's saying get it before they remove it, because of course they could release these remasters and they could just completely balk the game, or
Well, I think even if they don't, I think it's good to keep the originals. I don't think we should just remove them.
There's lots of mods that have been made outside of these remasters that probably won't.
And you're not, and I generally don't think you're going to be competing with your own stuff. I feel like companies they really honestly think that's what's going on. It's no, I think people can understand. Especially if you name it correctly, I think people can understand what the difference is. It's quite obvious.
But yeah, I'll tell you when we've got more news on it. The current rumor is Unreal Engine 4, and it's going to be fucking expensive considering how old these games are. They're not going to go, hey, it's a game we already released, fucking 20 odd years ago.
Because the trilogy at the moment is £17, the actual original. Original games trilogy.
But the current rumor is they're not going to come out at £15-20. They're going to be fucking £50, a full AAA release sort of thing.
It depends how much effort's been put into it, whether that's worth it or not, but we'll see.
Okay, we got a new timestamp for this week, Tony. I noticed there's a lot of blunders this week.
Yep.
I just made a topic for blunders because I feel like, oh, what the fuck?
Oh, the blunder.
No, the page I was on just started playing noise out of nowhere, and I was like, what the fuck, where's this music coming from? If you're watching this live on Twitch, the entirety of Twitch has been leaked online. I believe, if I'm not...
When we say the entirety of Twitch, we mean literally.
So
not a lot of it, but...
A user posted a 125 gigabyte torrent link on 4chan. It said the leak was intended to foster more disruption and competition in the online video streaming space because their community is a disgusting, toxic cesspool. And I will go further into who is this hacker 4chan. I believe it was posted on the video game board /V. So I'll go even further than these journalists. We did have some journalists verify that the files mentioned on 4chan are publicly available to download and described by the anonymous hacker did contain legitimate data, including the source code for the Amazon-owned streaming platform Twitch. And even Twitch has gone and confirmed the leak is authentic. So one thing you're immediately saying is, wait, I have a Twitch account, am I at risk? Yes, password data was leaked. But
and if you have a simple password, I would change it. Definitely now. You should have changed it before, but you definitely do it now.
My advice is even after what I'm about to tell you, change your password. It's just common practice. If something's leaked, change your password just to cover yourself.
And mine was an auto-generated password.
Yeah. So the password data was leaked, but it's still encrypted. So it's unlike...
It's not readable. It's still like a hashed version.
Yeah. So someone would as a random Twitch user like myself, somebody would have to take that encrypted password data and then sort of personally try to brute force my password for some reason, which means the likelihood of my password being compromised is still very low, but it's still best practice. It's unlikely that they would
do it like that. They would probably just feed it into a massive crunching, it would collate them together, because if you have the same password as someone else, Actually, that's not true because it is hashed probably with your username, but like that's not too difficult to like try and sort through. But I'm just saying like they will try and like just like brute force like the entire database, not like an individual, and see what pops out. So again, if you have a simple password, I would definitely change it now.
Twitch put out a statement saying there was a breach, and they also changed everyone's stream key to protect them from the leak. If you use a program like OBS and you manually type in a stream key or give out a stream key to someone else so they can stream your account, it was a way that you could connect your Twitch account with your live streaming software. And also do it so if someone had access to that through this leak, they could stream on your account, which was pretty big if you're like a big streamer. Obviously, that's going to be really bad. But for someone like me, so Twitch changed everyone's stream key. So if you will have to re-enter it if you use a manual stream key connection. I didn't have to change mine because I'm logged into my Twitch account through OBS, so it automatically does it. So if you have Twitch login integration into your live streaming software like OBS or Streamlabs or whatever people use that isn't OBS. I think Streamlabs is just OBS pretty much, but with Streamlabs integration.
Right.
You probably don't need to change your stream key if you're logged in to OBS, which I didn't have to do. So we've had a lot of data was leaked. They got information about every other property that Twitch owns or owned. So they had a lot of information about CurseForge, which was sold to Overwolf. There a lot of information about the Internet Games database, which Twitch uses to, when you search for a game on Twitch, it uses the Internet Games database. A unreleased Steam competitor called Codename Vapor was apparently coming out from Amazon Game Studios.
Vaporware?
I guess it was, I was going to say, it sounds like it's named after Vaporware, because that's not going to be a fucking thing. If you keep up with the live stream fails subreddit like I do, you will see that the creator payout report was leaked from 2019. So how much money every single content creator made on the platform was publicly available. And this started a meme where people would start referring to people as their number on the list. So I believe XQC is number 2. They started calling him number 2. So he's the second highest paid person on the platform.
Who's number 1?
It's Critical Role. Do you know Critical Role?
No.
Critical Role is basically, it gets like a huge amount of Twitch subs because it's a D&D live show hosted by a bunch of voice actors like Matt Mercer.
Right.
I believe who's like the voice actor of like McCree and lots of different stuff. But that's like one of the biggest and most subbed to platforms on Twitch right now, and it has been for a long time because they have a lot of voice acting. It's very, very popular because I think it's popular outside of Twitch as well because of its big influence.
I can see that. That makes sense. Okay, interesting. I'm honest, I wouldn't have expected that actually.
Yeah, I would have expected someone like XQC to be number 1 because of how I think Doc was still in like the top 10 despite being like banned for most of it.
Right.
We saw stuff like in the source code there was people who said don't ban this person, escalate their bans to someone else at the company, which is like people have been speculating for years that there's unbannable people on the platform and they get special treatment, which was like pretty interesting to see. Someone used the data in the source code to replace the GTA 5 banner with Jeff Bezos' face. I think that was the best amount of trolling I saw from
It's a pretty good image of Jeff Bezos.
Obviously, I wouldn't recommend anyone to do this, but it was a little bit funny. It's almost as funny. You just see that people on New World were trying to name their characters Jeff Bezos, and it was banned. You couldn't create a character called Jeff Bezos. And of course
there's some creative workarounds on that one, but it's funny, weird how you would ban that.
But that was the big blunder from Twitch. Didn't we literally have like the whole of Facebook? Oh, that's something I got to talk about that I've completely forgot about. I'm going to write this down. Do I talk about it now on Blunders? I'm going to talk about it now.
Yeah.
The entirety.
Blunders.
I'm going to talk about this later in the VR section. The entirety of Facebook was down. So everything Facebook owned was down. So Instagram, WhatsApp, and guess what, guys? Oculus was down because it's owned by Facebook. Meaning, if you owned a Oculus Quest 2 and you wanted to play VR, you were sitting on a heavy paperweight because you couldn't log into the Facebook servers.
Didn't they temporarily make Twitter start to act very slow because everyone was switching to Twitter to see what the hell was going on?
There was a huge surge in outside traffic to Twitter when this happened. Yeah.
Because I saw news reports. Oh, Facebook's down. Oh, Twitter is struggling. And I was like, okay, interesting.
Yeah, but what a week where we just have Facebook going completely down, and then
I don't think that was an outside source doing that though. I think it was just internal issues. So someone one of the computing channels that I watch on there suggested that it might have been a perfect storm of things going wrong, and there were reports of because they were saying that if you have a really big company where you have to do lots of networking, you would have internal internet, basically an internal network that's basically a small internet, and if it's also if the gateway issue they had was also internal, it would have meant that people couldn't have logged in to get into the they couldn't use their cards to get into the building. Apparently that's what's going on for a little bit, but that's unconfirmed news. But this just sounds funny that Facebook admins are trying to get into the building, they can't because Facebook's down.
But yeah, guys, if you change your Twitch password, turn on two-factor authentication, and if you are using one password for every single website, or a couple of passwords for each website, change all of your passwords, and for the love of God, set up a password manager. I think it was the best decision I made a long time ago, was to set up a password manager.
For sure.
Because now that my Twitch password's been leaked, potentially, I don't give a shit, because none of my other passwords are that password.
Yeah. I just have two strong passwords, one for my email that everything gets backed, or I don't know, it's linked to, and then a strong password, obviously for the password manager.
Your master password.
I guess technically I have a password for my phone as well, technically, but
passcode. Do you have one of those pattern things, or do you have numbers? I use Face ID all the time. I think Face ID is one of the best features I got from upgrading from a iPhone SE to a
Joe,
iPhone
I've got the super upgrade because I can either use fingerprint or my face under screen fingerprint sensor. So
you love to see that.
I mean, who could have thought you could do both?
The technology just isn't there. It doesn't exist.
It's not there. If under screen fingerprint sensor, it's just not there for Apple. It's not real.
They've got fast screens, 120 hertz.
But yeah, I genuinely, Joe, I log into my online bank account by fingerprint. It's the future.
Right. Yeah. It's so freaking useful. It is actually a game changer from someone. I'm not saying it's a game changer because Apple did it.
No. You just know the technology.
I'm saying it because I was really behind because I had an iPhone SE from 2016 for a long time. So I was like, oh my god, this is really cool.
Especially if you're using your phone as the two-factor authentication and not using SMS, using a proper account, it's very useful.
Yeah, it's incredibly useful.
And also one LastPass was working on both desktop and mobile. I could get all my passwords on a.
Technically, it still is, Tony. It's just not.
I have to switch it back and forth, so that's a no from me.
No, it is. You just have to pay for it now. They made the free version too good, which was their biggest mistake that they made as a company.
You can also technically do it for free by switching it, but it's an absolute pain in the ass.
You can switch it 3 times now. And then it's capped out.
But it's still a pain. I don't know. I'm not even gonna.
Yeah, I still use LastPass, but I use it on the desktop now. I haven't.
Yeah, it's just very annoying.
I'm saving the limited switches for an emergency in case I need it.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
Anyway, let's move on to another blunder. Paid XP boosters have been added to Avengers, despite promises that it would never happen.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought our boys Squeenix and Crystal Dynamics?
Avengers. That's a game that everyone's forgotten about.
That's a game that everyone was like.
Remember Anthem?
Yeah. Tony, back in March, they reduced XP gains for pacing issues, and now they're now going, well, we've reduced XP for people because of pacing issues, but now you can pay to get those XP gains back.
Considering like this isn't going to entice players in, like this is just like fucking over your current player base just to get money.
Well, they literally added this game to Games Pass last week in an effort to try and get people to come back and play the game, sort of thing.
And they added this to make money.
Because the people on Games Pass didn't buy the game, so they have to give them some way to make a bunch of money. Other than I'd argue
that they never were going to make their money back by just selling the game. Their plan was always all along to be a live service. So.
Next up on Blunders, we have the Intellivision Amico. I feel like I'm the only person in the world talking about the Intellivision Amico because no one else knows it exists. The Intellivision Amico, the weird video game console that makes no sense. I've talked about it like 2 times before on the podcast.
I don't remember either of them.
It was like for the South American market. It was selling like old. Okay. It was like selling really old retro games for some reason. But anyway, it's boxed games for the console are going on sale, but they're going on sale before the console even has a launch date of when the console is going to come out. So you can buy a boxed version of a game for a console that doesn't exist. This is the definition of putting the horse before the cart. This is... I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast because I don't remember, but did you see like Star Citizen was getting investigated because they were like they didn't make it clear enough that they were selling ships that didn't exist yet? Yeah. Holy moly!
Like if you're like into the community, like it's pretty obvious. But yeah, it should have even then it should have stated it like on the actual purchase page.
So you can buy a pack of 4 physical games for $80 or €80.
It's weird how I guess they're just boxes, but they're weirdly like shown as packs. That's kind of weird to me.
Or you can buy all 8 games currently available as collector's boxed editions for $150. For reference, these games are slated to cost $10 or less as digital downloads when the console arrives. I think this thing was like kickstarted as well.
What does it say at the bottom? I said, yeah.
Each box contains access to a digital download of the game, as well as lenticular cards and collectible coins. Just don't expect to be able to play them yet. It's supposed to encourage a return to couch cup gameplay. Do you remember, like I was talking about before, you could use your phone as a controller, so you wouldn't need to buy additional controllers? Was that what they were trying to do?
Okay, that was this one. Okay.
Return to couch co-op after a huge fucking pandemic. It was originally supposed to come out in the 10th of October 2020, a year ago yesterday, but the console currently has a vague autumn 2021 release window.
But what's this shit about NFTs?
Intellivision says blockchain? Each copy acts as an NFT.
What the
whatever that means, and it's part of a
relevant
blockchain that makes ownership fully transferable, which is something to consider.
Yeah, because if I had a physical box, I couldn't do that. You got me.
I can't wait to play Missile Command for $150 on my fucking Intellivision Amico. This is... I feel like I invented the Blunders category of the podcast for the Intellivision Amico, because I've talked about it 2 times before, and you literally... Me and you both literally forget it exists every time I talk about it.
Well,
so
I think you remember before me, but I forget even while you're telling me what it is. So,
shall we finish with these tech blunders and move on to actual interesting tech?
I mean, I quite like the tech blunders, but okay.
Tony, the Noctua 3070 is real, and doesn't look at the gorgeous brown, the beige, the tan. It's so I fucking love Noctua designs.
Iconic.
Yeah, it's iconic levels, mate. That's levels. So the rumors were true. Asus and Noctua have teamed up to create a co-created GeForce RTX 3070 design. The underlying GPU.
I'd say that I was describing someone who like 3D printed their own shroud and had Noctua fans and put it onto like a graphics card. They removed it shroud off of, and
was it a 3070
works pretty well.
or was it just a random card?
It was a 3070, yes.
Okay. So they're dual 120mm fans, which I have in my PC, and I can say they're fucking good and very quiet. Because the Noctua 120s seem to somehow outperform the 140s in a lot of cases.
The Noctua 140s?
Yeah. I think
or just like all 140s, okay.
I think it's genuinely better. It's like, from the research I've seen, I think it's actually better to have more 120s than it is to have less bigger 140s.
Okay. Interesting.
My PC is already like black and brown, so this would be great in my PC. I know loads of people are like, I'm willing to pay extra to get the Chroma Noctua fans that don't have the brown design. Personally, I would love a wood-themed PC that had like this actual like...
Yeah, but you haven't got a wood-themed PC yet, and you still wanted the...
Yeah, it looks
brown
cool.
And beige. That's what I don't get.
I love it. It looks so cool.
Okay. If you say so, I don't agree.
I don't like LEDs. I like Austrian brown fans.
Yeah. Interesting.
I don't want RGB. I want engineering.
Yeah, that's fair.
Reject RGB. Go back to wood.
No, I refuse. I'm going full RGB.
Right. Windows 11's come out. Tony, are you on Windows 11 right now?
Oh, absolutely, definitely.
Wait,
I'm not still on Windows 7.
Okay, so Windows 11 came out. I have not. It came out on the 5th. It is the 11th today. I have not upgraded as of yet, and I don't think I am planning to anytime soon.
So I have a Windows 10 laptop, and I am not upgrading that. Like, it works. It's fine.
So Auto HDR is out on Windows 11. It is pretty cool. But we still have like the features that gamers would want are still missing. So direct storage is out, but is compatible with Windows 10, and no developer has actually used it. Like, the whole point of direct storage is it doesn't work unless developers design a game around direct storage, which they aren't right now.
Or patch an existing architecture or something along those lines. But yeah, I guess it's now out that you can now actually have something to develop on properly.
I've seen people say that they've been upgrading to Windows 11 for the aesthetic designs, which I think, if you're an aesthetic UI person, you probably would like the Windows 11 like rounded edges. Stuff like that. The center taskbar.
I really don't see a big enough difference. Like, it's very similar. Like, you can get a lot of that by changing colors. I'm gonna be honest with you.
We've had reports it's been affecting the Oculus Quest 2. Airlink has apparently had some stuttering issues with the Windows 11 upgrade. Could be anecdotal. We have had actual confirmed reports that Windows 11 is making AMD chips run slower in games. So if you have I think it's a Zen, like, I know definitely the 5000 series is affected. I think 2000 and up is affected by this, potentially. Or I could...
Right.
Let's have a look. I think it's about a 3 to 5% drop. I think it's to do with the L3 cache latency is tripled, and AMD has a preferred core system that means that Windows will always choose the best core to use, which increases performance. But it's currently broken on Windows 11, and
right, okay.
So there is a performance hit at the moment for games, it seems like, but AMD and Microsoft have both put out statements saying they are actively investigating for fixes. They are both aware of the issues, and I think there's even like maybe a beta version coming on the Insider build that is fixing this issue. So it seems like it's sort of a software tweak that needs fixing, and then the Ryzen CPUs will be back to at least on par with Windows 10, because I don't think you're ever going to get like a performance boost from being on Windows 11, not right now. So there's like pretty much a Windows 11, the only reason to upgrade is if you are looking for different aesthetics, which I know people are, because people, install like Pop OS on Linux, or you have all these different Linux distros, or people like Mac. Like I would say Windows 11 is a lot closer to the Mac.
You can install things that change the look without having to upgrade your OS.
Yeah, but I would say like native integration of an OS is always going to be far superior to something
I
attached on
guess
top of an OS.
I do not like the new aesthetics. I'm gonna be
Mm.
honest. I like the older style.
Well,
But
wait.
that's
So Tony, I wanted to ask you: are you still on Windows 7 on your
currently
main
on this
PC?
computer. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
So on your main PC, you still haven't seen a reason to upgrade to Windows 10,
no,
which is pretty interesting. Because I would say I'm at a point where I'm very happy with Windows 10. I think Windows 10 is a very like good
yeah.
OS, and I think it's
I
generally
am.
accepted.
I've had to like install stuff to like make my Windows 10 experience good, but like with those, like it wasn't too difficult to install, and with
Hmm.
those, it's a very good experience. There's a lot of nice things. I'm looking at Windows 11 feature stuff, and like other than direct storage, I really don't care.
Yeah, like I
I
personally
guess technically
don't.
Windows 11 will have like once like older Lake and like other like performance and like efficient cores like in place, like that scheduling would be better. But again, we can't see that, so it
Yeah,
doesn't exist.
it doesn't really make sense to upgrade right now because the features in terms of performance aren't there.
And
So for
like, if
me,
you want, I personally I don't, but if you want stuff in the middle of, I guess the other thing as well, like with Windows 11, it's got better touchscreen.
it's better for
I guess like
touchscreens and
interactability.
laptops and Surface
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
but I will say, I think people are forgetting what Windows 10 actually gives you. I'm going to
Mm.
tell people now. Windows 10 already has the feature that if you switch something into tablet mode, the icons get slightly wider. That's already a thing that happens.
I think the one thing that genuinely I was like, that's cool, I want that, is the fact that if I turn off one of my monitors or unplug a monitor,
Yeah,
when I replug it in or return it on,
that's
it like switched everything over and completely forgets where stuff
yeah.
was, where they fixed that in
I
Windows 11. I was like, that's
yeah.
genuinely very useful. The
Sometimes I
ability.
have like one of my monitors, like I think it's like a display port issue, but it's like sometimes
Mm.
it's like, no, I need to be woken properly, and it's like then they completely fucks up where the windows are supposed to be. If they
Mm.
just minimized it and waited until the window was back, that's actually brilliant. So yeah, that sort of thing is great, but I don't understand why that couldn't just been a Windows 10 update.
Well, the
Like
way I see
genuinely, that's
Windows
what annoys
11
me.
is it seems like it's a Windows 10 insider build. It's like it basically a Windows
Yeah,
10 update,
well,
but
and
they've
that's
made
that.
it
I
its
think
own
that's what
thing.
annoys me more than anything is like they've like come out with this update for they claimed that Windows 10 was going to be the last one, and
Yeah.
like they added stuff to me that seems like you could really easily add to 10. Maybe not easily, but like it's definitely feasible it could be added to 10 without having to be a new operating system. Like I don't see it. Like I don't know. I just feel like they're just trying to. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is here because like if people are being upgraded for free, I don't understand why they're calling it 11, other than maybe to get people to
Well,
switch. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know why it's going to be a new Windows 10 update.
because they know that people. It's the whole thing with like game sequels where you don't make DLC or 1.5 games anymore. You make a sequel because it sells better. They know
But you're
that
not
if
selling it. You're upgrading for free.
yeah, but on the enterprise level, I think they can
Yeah, but they
sell
still.
Windows 11 licenses.
Yeah, but they still have to buy them like for each unit.
I
Like I
think
don't
I don't think it's about like me or you upgrading to Windows 11. It's about like the bigger ecosystem of
like
having
into OEMs and
OEMs, yeah, like big businesses where they sell like batch
yeah.
licenses to Windows 11,
Hmm.
and then I think it's specifically to be like this Surface tablet comes with Windows 11. It's a brand new system specifically designed for Surface
Yeah.
tablets. Like that's why they're doing this rather than a Windows 10 update, which makes sense from a business standpoint. It just doesn't make a lot of sense
But
for consumers like
I'm
me
gonna
and
be
you.
honest though, I'm yet to see when people looked at the new Surface, no one's mentioned the Windows 11 on it really.
Yeah.
They're just going to look at all these cool features, and then like in the passing mention of and because Windows 11 the touchscreen compatibility is better. Like it's not even like a main talking point. So I feel
Mm.
like it's still to me I still don't see the point. Like they could have done everything they've done doing now, but just have it as a Windows 10 update.
Yeah.
But I guess if they're trying to advertise these features, I can understand that point of view because it's a whole new operating system is different than like it's the 20, it's just the 2000th update of Windows.
Yeah. Anyway,
But it's still annoying. I don't like it.
let's move on to VR. So, as I was alluding to earlier, there is a brand new GitHub page called Oculus. So, a 17-year-old is creating an app that unlinks your Facebook account from the Oculus Quest 2. And you may be saying,
yeah, I saw that.
That's awesome. I can unlink my Oculus Quest account, my Facebook account with Oculus Quest, and continue using it as an Oculus Quest 2 and have it plugged into my PC and use it that way. But you may want to hold on from that. So you do need a Facebook account in the first place, because the way you do this is the Oculus Quest is basically like an Android device on your face. And one thing you can do with an Android device is you can sideload like APKs, and there's a sideloading app called SideQuest that allows you to sideload apps and stuff, and it allows you to sideload Oculus, which removes the Facebook account. But the thing with the Oculus Quest 2 is it's so ingrained in the Oculus system, when you remove your Facebook account, you won't be able to access any of the social things. You won't be able to access the Oculus Store, so you won't be able to buy stuff on the Oculus Quest Store.
You can still use it with Steam though, right?
Yes.
You didn't care about that. It was only on Steam. You could do that without worry.
But if you wanted to play the new Star Wars games from the Oculus Quest Store, you would not. If you wanted to play Resident Evil 4, you wouldn't be able to do that, because you need the Oculus Quest Store to be able to buy it on your Oculus. Which
it sounds like I should just make a throwaway Facebook account at this point. And just link that.
Well, we've actually seen recently SideQuest has raised $3 million in funding to help the VR developers go multi-platform. So the sideloading platform launched in 2019, 2 days after the Oculus Quest release, and now it's seen more than 1 million monthly active users, according to husband and wife founders Shane Harris and Orla Harris. Because Facebook had a strict console-like curation process. So basically, if you wanted to be in the Oculus Store, you would have to go through all of Facebook's rigorous checks to make sure you could get on there. Similar to how the walled garden approach from the iOS store, whereas Android had the the side loading sort of thing.
Which is still awkward to do, but is at least possible.
So SideQuest made it super easy for adventurous Quest owners to take experimental software long before Facebook officially supported that through the App Lab system. So the funding would help them build a testing service and other tools to help VR developers. SideQuest can accelerate and expand plans now with the additional $3 million in investment round leaders, pro founders, and participations from venture capitalist companies, as well as strategic angel investors. Games like Puzzling Places, Hyperdash, and Cubism have used SideQuest to get feedback about their in-development software, effectively using the platform as a springboard to move towards store releases on various platforms. Earlier this year, SideQuest released an Android app which enabled sideloading onto the Quest without the need for a PC, which was quite big for people who just use the standalone headset. So you may be asking, what is SideQuest? Essentially, SideQuest is a lot of third-party VR content. So if you've never heard of a man called Dr. Beef, this guy's a legend. Dr. Beef has created the mods such as Doom 3 on the Quest 2 in VR, like a game that was sort of designed to be in VR. He's done the ports of Wolfenstein, all of Quake, the original Doom games. This is the sort of stuff you would be playing on your Facebookless Oculus Quest 2 if you didn't want to play anything from the Oculus Quest store. You were just into side loading and then plugging it into your PC to use as a Steam VR headset. I would say for most people, you probably won't want to do this unless SideQuest comes with some crazy killer apps on it. Other than this sort of thing, I think the dummy Facebook account is probably the best idea right now, because I think there's genuinely a lot of good stuff on the Oculus Quest store. That you
they did it on purpose,
use.
Right? To incentivize the walled garden approach.
Yeah, but yeah, if you're someone who's hey, I'm just gonna play Steam VR. I wanted the best budget Steam VR headset. And I'm just going to plug it in and use
You mentioned
Steam
that
VR.
I couldn't play. That was my plan. So I remember there were actually games on Facebook.
Yeah,
that's the biggest problem. Facebook or Oculus exclusive, I guess. But
yeah. Anyway, let's move on to business news. Oh, Gearbox Randy Pitchford has stepped down as Gearbox Software's president, but don't celebrate too early, and he's stepping up as president of the newly formed Gearbox Studios. Randy Pitchford will still serve as CEO and president of the Gearbox parent company, and will shift his focus towards film and TV. If you watched the Gearbox conference from E3 of Randy Pitchford jacking off for an hour, talking about how much he loves the Borderlands film...
No, I skipped that one.
You will know exactly what we are talking about here when we say this is a perfect role for Randy Pitchford to go and gush over celebrities in the Borderlands film and just try and let the actual developers get on making games over at Gearbox. So... we'll have to see if this is a good move. Obviously, he's still in charge at Gearbox, so whether this is actually going to change anything, who knows. But hopefully, this allows somebody else to maybe take some reins over there and do some good. We'll have to see. Former Chief Technical Officer Steve Jones has become the new president of Gearbox Software.
Jones.
Never heard of him, but...
it's like the fake Steve Jobs.
Yeah, there it is.
No offense, Steve Jones.
Next up, we have Netflix expanding their games team with the acquisition of Night School Studio. If you don't know Night School Studio, they've made the popular games Oxenfree and After Party developers. So looks like I was going to say Facebook is gearing up with looks like Netflix is gearing up with its acquisitions.
Yeah.
Of video game companies. It seems like with Oxenfree and After Party, it looks like they're going to try and stay in the like teeny 2D sort of games, I would say.
Right. Is that what these games are?
These are sort of more like Choices Matter, teen movie sort of
right.
games, I would say.
Almost point and clicks.
Sort of similar to like their IP, so this is going to be like... this is the sort of person you would want making like a, I don't know, like Stranger Things game, or I don't know, 13 Reasons Why's, or Squid Game. I don't know what's popular with the kids.
I think Squid Game.
I watched the whole of Squid Game and I thought it was pretty good.
Have you not heard it's like super popular?
Yeah, I watched.
I'm assuming the kids are. Well, I assume the kids aren't watching it actually, but
no, they probably are.
The young adults.
I probably would have watched it as a kid. Not told my parents, so
right, fair enough.
I watched.
Okay, the kids are watching it then.
I think like Squid Game got really popular, and then there was this big circle jerk, and then there was a big movement of the anti-circle jerk, where everyone was like, it's not as good as people are saying, but it became like a point where I think it became almost popular to hate on Squid Game. So my unbiased opinion from watching it is, it's pretty good. It's not amazing. It's still like really entertaining. I would say it's not right. I'd say it's definitely entertaining. I'd recommend watching it.
Well, the advice I was given, because I said it doesn't.
And I would watch it in Korean.
Watch, and they told me like, no, watch it anyway.
Yeah.
Like, okay. So I wasn't going to watch it originally.
It's only 8 episodes long, so it's not like a crazy time. I watched it in a day, so I don't know how long the episodes are. Let me check.
Hopefully not an hour, otherwise that's...
It might be like 45 minutes an hour. I watched it in a day, but I pretty much just watched it the whole day.
Yeah.
I don't binge watch anything anymore. Like, the most I get is like, sometimes I'll watch 2 or 3 episodes of Star Trek. That's my binge watching.
Oh my god.
The thing is with Netflix is, like, it's an old tradition of TV shows to always have episodes the same length, but with Netflix now, they're always like different lengths, the episodes.
Yeah.
Episode...
They don't need to care at all about advertising or fitting in between like actual time for advertising purposes.
They're roughly an hour long. So the total season has a runtime of 485 minutes. Which is... So it's 8 hours long. So an hour per episode, pretty much. I'd recommend watching it. It immediately starts in the English dub, and then I noticed like how subdued the background noise was because they had the English dub on top of it, and I was like, I feel like I'm missing out on like the acting from the Korean actors.
I was told definitely watch it subbed.
Yeah, so I watched it subbed with Korean dubbing, which I think was for the best. But I don't think I would. I feel like from the people that I've spoke to who watched it, the dub version, I feel like they weren't like, oh, it was a completely different experience watching it dubbed. The most they said was some characters didn't sound like I thought they were going to sound like, but overall the dubbing was fine. Like you can watch it dubbed like a lot because a lot of people like that was the whole thing when a foreign language film through Parasite won the Oscars. Was a lot of people were saying, I don't want to read subtitles or.
Which is funny because most people watching Netflix have subtitles on.
I watch the
same language they're watching it in.
I watch Star Trek with English subtitles on. Actually,
oh my god. I disagree.
Okay, but yeah, for a lot of people I talked to, I was like, "Why did you watch the dub version?" They said because I was watching it while I was doing other things, and I wanted to be able to walk in and out of the room and understand it, which I get because it's how people consume content.
That's very fair.
If I put an episode of Star Trek and Deanna Troy's getting mind raped by some weird alien, I'm gonna put it on 1.25 speed because I'm not watching that shit anymore.
Yeah. They're all really boring as well. Like as horrific as it is, it's really. This is a Star Trek fan, I guess, but horrific and not very interesting.
Oh, one thing I noticed is Deanna Troy gets shouted at by the interim captain, and then she suddenly starts wearing a uniform. That I noticed Geordie LaForge's beard like comes in and out.
Yeah.
And there was an outside reason because he wanted a beard for his wedding.
Yeah. They said like after, oh yeah, so you're growing a beard, right? Oh, I'm thinking about it, keeping it. And then he like kind of has one sometimes.
I was wondering if they were going to address Deanna Troy randomly wearing her uniform. They do not at all. In the actual,
she just
starts wearing it and no one bats an eyelid.
Yeah, well, the captain told her, and then she's like, I might as well just keep wearing it.
So apparently, there's from what because I looked it up because sometimes I get interested in things. Like I was looking at what a Class M planet means, and then I started looking up like what a Class A.
You need to watch Star Trek Enterprise to understand that.
No, I looked it up. Like Class M basically means an Earth planet, basically somewhere where humans could live. But then there's like,
do you know what it stands for though?
No, I just know it's numbers.
Minchaka, or I can't remember. It's a Vulcan word.
But then there was like, it got pretty interesting when you look at the different classes of planets. Like, there's certain planets that are completely like covered in water, but still habitable by humans, and they're like class like F or G or something like that.
And there's ones that are like very poorly, like you can survive there, but it's like very poor to live. Yeah, it's very interesting classing system actually. Like,
anyway, apparently,
it's not totally stupid.
As with Geordie LaForge and what's the name of the actor? LeVar Burton. He wanted his beard for his wedding photos. Apparently, the reason she starts wearing the uniform after that point is that Marina Citrus wanted to be taken more seriously. And she basically said, I can't be taken seriously when I have like my cleavage on show all the time. So basically, she was covering up.
It was odd that she was like the only like cast member like always wearing that, and it's like, I mean, every now and again, like another female character might do that, but like when they're on like going to Riser or something, not all the time.
I like how I started talking about Netflix acquiring games, and I somehow started talking about Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Well, Star Trek is available on Netflix.
It's true. That's what it reminded me of.
Actually, sorry, if you're in America, fuck you. No, it's not. If you're everywhere else in the world, you can watch them.
Guys, this is a teaser for Star Trek Picard Season 2. In preparation for Star Trek Picard Season 2, I've almost finished watching every single episode of The Next Generation, so I will be prepared for the references to the TNG in Picard Season 2 when Geordie LaForge comes back with a beard. He's going to have a beard, guys. I predict
he had a beard in like all the films. Oh no, not Generations. All the films after that, he had a beard.
You'd love to see it.
And no visor, by the way. So don't expect a visor.
Okay, and next week, welcoming Bluepoint Games to the PlayStation Studios family. This was leaked that the people who remade Demon's Souls, Shadow of the Colossus, they did the remasters like the Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection.
Yeah.
it was like leaked that Bluepoint was going to be joining. They're like, no, this is a mistake. This is definitely not happening. And then it was officially announced that they've officially joined PlayStation. I think from what I saw, the Demon's Souls remake looked fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was really
like
it was really
actually
well
use the next generation capabilities of the PS5 and the PS5 controller, which is really cool.
Oh yeah, they actually used like the whatchamacallit. What's it called? They have the special word for it, don't they? Like for the
haptic feedback sort of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, like the resistance to like your yeah.
I know, saying they did like stuff like the remasters of the Shadow of the Colossus and the remaster of like the Nathan Drake collection sort of thing, that gets me interested to see whether they would put these guys on potentially doing the Nathan Drake collection for PC or Shadow of the Colossus for PC. That would be really cool to see, but obviously this is just pure basis of speculation. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
Please?
We'll have to see. Like, I think if they were going to release a game on PC, people have been asking for Bloodborne on PC for such a long time.
Okay. I would okay. That's to be fair. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I want Bloodborne on PC before anything else. That's fair. That's fair.
All right, let's move on. We got Nintendo news, Epic news, and then we'll end the podcast. So Nintendo news, they added another sword fighter with an anime character sword fighter. Wow, guys, another one. Shocker. This is the final character to be added to Smash. This is Sora from the Kingdom Hearts series. I've never played Sora. I've talked about it before. I'm not a Squeenix fan, as I talked about earlier in the Tokyo Game Show.
I'm going to tell you now that Kingdom Hearts fans are pretty insane.
They've been apparently like the poll for the most wanted character to be added to Smash has been Sora from Kingdom Hearts for a really fucking long time.
Really?
And despite this fact, a lot of Smash fans are still upset that this is the character being added and not someone else. So I'm like,
Waluigi?
You just can't make him happy. Where is Waluigi, guys? That's the real question.
I think I'm just upset this is the final one. Why can't I just keep going?
Anime sword user, guys. It's
I'm okay. I'm not a Nintendo fan. I don't own a Switch. I'm obviously not them playing this game.
I did play Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yeah, we did.
At Stag Do,
we did recently,
and I sucked at it. So there's that.
I think I sucked more.
I played Meta Knight because I'd played Meta Knight before on the Weaver. I played a lot of Super Smash Bros.
You weren't Dark Samus.
Dark Samus? What?
For Metroid.
What?
Okay. Don't worry. You're not a Nintendo fan. It's fine.
Meta Knight. He's the evil.
He's the
evil villain.
So I was playing.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that.
No.
I thought you were saying Meta Knight was from Metro. I'm like, he's Kirby's enemy.
No.
Like, what's going on? Okay. And then I was like, oh, fuck it. Because I was playing with guys who were really good, and I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to play Rob and die. Let's just play Rob. I think Rob is the character you pick when you're just like, fuck it. Let's just play.
In hindsight, I kind of wanted to play Kirby just like to see what shit
just
they
suck
can
in
do.
people. The thing is for Kirby, it's kind of like Abathur in Heroes of the Storm, or like Silas or Viego in League. Like any character where you can play as every character, you kind of have to be the best player in the game, because you not only have to be able to play your character, you have to be able to play every other character. All I'm saying, guys, is
it's just funny that if you're already
Kirby players are the true five heads of the world. They're the smartest guy in the room. Kirby players.
But if you can't play that, I just feel like you just have fun, just like randomly changing as you like.
I think Pikachu is supposed to be a really easy hero to play. If you ever play Smash,
I heard Mario was a good. They said like Mario and someone else as well. Was also a good like starting pick.
Anyway, I love that like they do like the anime sword fighters in the main one, but the Mii costumes, they're like, let's just go fucking wild. Like they did.
That's really good.
And another Mii costume for the Gunner was Doom Guy has been added to Smash. You can now play as the fucking Doom Slayer from the Doom. I'm not remake or remaster, the reboot. That's the word I'm looking for. Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, Doom Slayer is here, guys, and I think it's a cool skin. Like, it's cool to see that. I guess Microsoft has 3 characters. No, wait, they have 4, right? Because Skyrim Man Dovahkiin was added.
Yeah.
So because it's to Bethesda, which is now Microsoft, and then it's also to Microsoft with Steve from Minecraft and Banjo-Kazooie from Rare. Then we talked about the Nintendo 64 games were being added to the expansion pass for Switch Online, and people were reporting that potentially they could get the 50 Hz PAL versions that run terribly for the European versions. Nintendo's officially announced about 2 hours ago that all Nintendo 64 games included with Nintendo Switch Online and the expansion pass can be played in 60 Hz English language versions. Select games will also have the option to play the original European PAL versions with language options. So you'll have a choice of which version of the game you play, because notoriously the PAL version, the European versions weren't as good as the American ones, I don't think.
And also, like, if it won't be like too comparable with like modern hardware either, I would have said.
It was a difference in like the 50 Hz and the 60 Hz standards between.
Well, I thought there was also like not only like a different Hertz. I thought it was the way like it like drew like the seams different as well.
They were slower, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, that it's good to see that you can choose. That is cool to see from Nintendo actually doing a good thing with their online service. That's a interesting move. Next up, we have Epic news. Epic Achievements are launching next week. I thought Achievements were already in Epic because I was playing Ghost Runner on the Epic Game Store and I had Achievements popping up, and I was like, I just assumed they were already added because I had them popping up, but apparently that's like a system. I think it was built into Ghost Runner maybe. And
right.
But they're actually being added to the Epic Games client now, especially like similar to how Steam Achievements work.
Well, I thought one step further, like they're like doing like it similar to like how consoles.
Yeah, so it's going to be like PlayStation. Yeah,
and so also like and I think this would have helped in the greenlight era of Steam. Like apparently you can only add up to a certain number of like achievements per game. So like, that would have.
So the way it works is achievements have XP on them. So bronze achievements will be 5 to 45 XP. Silver will be 50 to 95 XP, gold will be 100 to 200 XP, and platinum will be 250 XP. And then you'll get a platinum achievement being awarded upon earning 1,000 XP in a game.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So you can like 100% a game. You can get... So I guess platinum in the sense of Epic is like an award for having 1,000 XP accumulated on that game.
Yeah.
So how many platinums you have will be a good way to go, oh, you have a lot of achievement points on this game.
Yeah.
So you've either...
I think I've actually missed from Steam achievements. Like it's kind of just like, oh, you got an achievement. They're all kind of similar.
Yeah, the way I've got around this is I've started with the completionist tab. I think that was a good way to go, hey, here's all of the ones you've 100%ed. And then I think with the new profile system they made, I now have on my profile. I have.
But imagine it was actually like a different like glow to it though, like just
rarest
really,
achievements shown off.
Yeah.
The achievements that only the least amount of people own do glow in your Steam achievements.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah, right. I don't know if you knew that, but that does actually occur on Steam. But I do agree that it is like...
But wouldn't that change over time, potentially?
Initially, when I moved from playing primarily on my Xbox 360 to Steam achievements, I did really miss like gamer score from my Xbox 360. I think that was a big thing that Steam kind of missed the boat on.
So I'm actually happy with this. I think it's a good thing. I think this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, achievements are kind of like to hit or miss, but like if it's going to be there, it is rewarding when they do work. So this is a good way of implementing it.
Yeah. I think they're gonna allow you to unlock stuff like avatars for your Epic profile account as well, which is kind of cool if you like that sort of thing. You can upload
profile account on Epic.
Well, they're going to set up like that was a big thing that Epic was missing, is it doesn't have great social features. I will say right now, so they're still. I think they're going to announce. They say we're waiting as we drop new social features and player rewards later this year. So this is part one of the social features for Epic because it's really far behind the moment. But another, so this is going to be coming to Rocket League, which Epic owns now, Hades, which they funded the development for, Pillars of Eternity, Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, Zombie Army 4, and Alan Wake Remastered. So those will be the first games to go. I think if I was going to pick a game, I think a game like Rocket League would be a really good choice for a game to be like, hey, let's test out achievements in this. Like, I think that's a good test candidate for an achievement system like this, because that is something you can...
They removed it from Steam.
I think, wait, there's no... I thought there was achievements for Rocket League. Or are you saying you can't get it? I own Rocket League on Steam already, so I still have achievements for Rocket League, if they still exist. Which I think they do. Let me double check. Yeah, I still have Steam achievements for Rocket League.
Yeah, I believe if a game ever existed and had achievements, you would get it.
So I can still unlock them and do stuff with them, which is... I think I prefer having Rocket League on Steam because it's easy, because I manage my games through Steam, but it's a shame they remove the ability to purchase it through Steam or play it through Steam.
Yeah.
But Tony, we're coming up to the end of the year. I gotta say, my front runner for multiplayer game I enjoyed the most in 2021, not released this year, but just played the most this year. I think Rocket League is like the #1 contender for my most like enjoyed multiplayer game this year so far. Like, it's up there. I've been having so much fun in Rocket League this year. I think the game is so much fun. It's so simple. And
it looks really fun. I will say it's a game that that I can watch and like kind of like understand and go, oh, that's like really impressive, like lining up that shot and oh, you're like boosting at the right time.
It's like
oh, that really blocked it.
Like, if you don't remember, to the viewers out there, the original podcast is me talking about my game of the year, Rocket League, back in like 2015, 2016, and talking about how much fun it was. So it's good to go back to the game after so many years.
It's amazing.
It's still so fun.
Yeah, it's really cool that it's still going. It still has I was gonna say legs, like it still has wheels.
You're on a roll, wheels.
Yeah.
I played like an NFL game mode where you get an American football and you like pick it up on the car and then people have to like tackle you and then you like... I was so confused by the score because you score like 7 points per goal in like American football, and it was really confusing. But it was like, there's always like cool game modes in Rocket League now, so it's always fun to see.
Yeah, okay, that's not something I realized. Okay, that's really cool.
Oh, there's tons of game modes in Rocket. There's ice hockey. You can play like...
So if you get bored, you just like switch for a bit and then go back to like...
There's... this is something I said when I talked about it before. The Steam version has full workshop support, but the Epic version doesn't. So I was like, that's really... Because there's really cool stuff on the workshop. Like, I literally played for like 2 hours a map where it gives you unlimited boosters and you have to try and boost through rings, like a obstacle course, which was really fun.
Yeah.
I think I may have talked about this podcast, but someone made the fucking Among Us map in the workshop for Rocket League.
How that work in Rocket League?
I think you have to do something third party, but I don't fucking know. Anyway, let's move on. Apple is filing appeals in the Epic Games case. If you don't know, they won 9 out of 10 of the rulings that were put up against Epic. And they basically, the one that Epic actually won, which was the injunction that says that developers can add in-app links to non-Apple payment websites. They're appealing that one. So they don't want developers to be able to add in-app links to non-Apple payment websites. So they're basically, they've put a stay on that injunction. So potentially we may not see that change to iOS for like 2 or 3 years. Basically, as long as Apple just keeps paying their lawyers to drag this out as long as possible, that's not going to happen for a while, it seems like.
This kind of sucks. This is the state we're in. Like, if you're just a big company, you can just do this sort of shit.
Yeah, it's like pan trolls and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's kind of worse because it's like... I don't know, I just feel like if you're that big, that you shouldn't abuse your power. So...
But anyway, let's move on to the Pete Molydeux tweet and then the podcast. I can't remember if I've read this one, but I'll read it again. Imagine a game that comes with a walkie-talkie that only works with one other walkie-talkie in the world. If you buy the first of a duo, you have to wait for a player 2 to pick up. Possibly days, possibly years. What a game that would be.
Okay. I was kind of thinking of a weirder version, like I was kind of like, what if like one player is connected to all other walkie-talkies that come after that walkie-talkie?
So you can hold down the button and speak promises of adventure and wonder into the other walkie-talkie to encourage a passerby to pick it up. Your choice of words will decide what kind of person uses the other walkie-talkie. I'd call it walkie-stalkie. But the best part is if someone wanted to start playing it, start gathering the game specifically to not allow others to join in the conversation. Just deny people the chance to have the walkie-talkie experience. Someone says this is practically the premise of Netflix The One, but I have no idea what that is. Let's go back to Netflix. What is The One?
Neo.
Rebecca is the ambition and impulsive fantasy of Match DNA, a company that compare people with their perfect partner based solely on their DNA samples. Okay. Interesting. That is the end of the podcast. You can check us out and everything in between podcast on YouTube, twitch.tv/Scorn if you want to watch live, and at Scorn2000 on Twitter if you want to follow me there for some reason. Goodbye.
Bye.